I guess. I didn't even mean to press the button. Keeps dropping zick. There. I'll go live again. I don't get it. I don't get it. Damn it. See, now I got to use this shitty ass laptop to do it. Actually, is this even live? I don't even know. I'm gonna end this and then just go live again. Oh, all right. So it's working. So maybe I won't. So I don't know what is going on. I didn't mean to go live. I was just like getting it started on my phone, and uh, I accidentally started the live stream. But I'm sitting here. The problem is the picture sucks, because it's super bright. I could block this window. Maybe I'll do that. Hold on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then just turn on the lights there. Oh yeah. So that works for now. Anyway, what's going on, guys? I'm in the what should I call it? The Yeet Mobile. I'm in the Yeet Mobile waiting for Waiting for a load. I am about 6 hours from home, so I am tempted just to make the drive home. And yeah, I may be doing that. I don't know, but because I haven't been home in so long, I just took a shower, feel clean finally. But I haven't decided what I'm gonna do. There's stuff I've got quite the honey-do list at home. So part of me, I don't know. I probably may I may wait till like 2 o'clock and then make um the decision. Someone said 1776 commission QAnon checking in. Nice, nice. I wanted to make this video, and it sucks because I didn't mean for it to start like this. I wanted to like create a title and all that stuff, but I didn't really get a chance. But part of the reason why I wanted to make this video today is I see a lot of people being very critical of the fact that I'm doing this and saying like I've given up so much and blah blah blah, and not really having a full understanding of why I'm on the road and driving, the van, hauling freight and all that stuff. So I'm going to do my best to try to explain it so it's okay, you know? Because I don't understand why so many people are critical of my choice. You know what I mean? And like saying like how far you've fallen and stuff like that, which doesn't really make a lot of sense because I haven't fallen. In fact, this is a an upgrade in terms of like mental health and all that stuff than anything I've been doing for a long time. So let me explain just the whole thing. I never wanted to talk about politics. I never wanted to have a show talking about freight or have a show talking about politics, talking about the current events, talking about life. I never wanted to do that. It was never something I looked forward to. Like anybody who's been watching the freight show for years ago, I always used to stay away from politics, even though in my personal life I've always been very big into politics. But someone said it all started with the riots. Not actually, no. In fact, I had a large social media presence before I even shut the divider, and you could see better. Oh God, it's so hard to stand up. Woo. And I just stepped on my accelerator. Oh God, wait for it. Oh, I almost fell over. I probably just wasted a half a gallon of gas accidentally stepping on the accelerator. Man, this van's a mess. Oh, oh gosh. Oh gosh. All right, so there. Now the divider's closed. But now I got these. Oh, wait. Oh, oh god. It's fun. It is quite difficult to get up and maneuver around a little bit in here because I am a rather big guy. So it's hard for me to maneuver in the van. Anyway, so like I was oh shit. So like I was saying, that didn't really help much at all. But like I was saying, I didn't really want to I didn't want to talk about politics. It was never something I was very interested in. I started talking about politics by covering the riots, right? I've always been interested in politics on a personal side. In fact, I've held appointed office 3 different local governments where I was appointed by the mayor and held board positions and things like that because I've always been interested in politics. But I never wanted to talk about it because politics is incredibly divisive and it's not something that I wanted to address in, the national sphere because I don't like people. Do you know what I mean? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay, there's my phone. I want to keep my phone in case dispatch calls. So anyway, when all the riots and stuff started, I had a very active social media channel called Freight Broker Live. So we wrote articles every day. I was very well known in the transportation and logistics sector. I had guaranteed radio spots. I had already gone and worked for FreightWaves as a broadcaster and hosting a show over on FreightWaves TV. I then decided that wasn't the best course of action. And then I ended up just doing my own thing. I had good sponsorships. I was making good money doing all that stuff. But when all the riots started, I needed to cover what was happening because nobody else was covering it. Nobody else covered the riots. Nobody else covered the chaos that was happening in our country. Mainstream media literally ignored it for the first couple of months. They ignored it. They didn't cover it. Like every single night, I remember watching. That's how I started doing it, because I stayed up one night and I saw all the Twitch feeds and everything about the riots. And then the very next day, I turned on Fox News. I turned on, the news stations, thinking that they have to cover it, right? They have to cover it. And sorry, someone was calling me. It wasn't dispatch though, so ignored. And so I decided that I would start covering the riots every single night, just live streaming them, restreaming them out. I never thought that it would get as big as it would, right? And so I started, and I'll be honest, I don't even think I was that political when I first started covering the riots. Like on social media, I was just covering what was happening in this country and the fact that nobody was covering it, and that's the whole reason why I started doing the Freight Broker Live thing, is because there was a huge segment of the freight industry that was virtually untapped. Like the news that was geared towards drivers, towards forklift operators, towards independent owner ops, warehousemen. The news wasn't built, it wasn't built to actually cover any of those things. And I noticed very quickly that just like the riots, nobody was paying attention to these little news stories. Just became like what people wanted to talk about, and it was very segmented, and who covered what and for what reason. So then I started talking about politics, and again, not something I wanted to do. I started talking about politics as it related to the riots. Like it was pretty much as it related to the riots. Then we started covering we covered Kayleigh McEnany's press conferences all the time. And then so we started paying attention to some of the bigger news stories that started happening. And then after the election, we covered the election. We covered all that stuff. After the election, we started covering Jen Psaki in the White House, and realizing that, holy crap, they're just straight up lying about everything that's happening. Because and we were able to tell, we could see what was happening in the country versus what they were, saying was happening. So we knew in real time that they were lying. And so, it just carried on, and we started talking more about politics. The riots stopped. We continued talking about news and current events and things like that. But pretty much from the beginning, everybody that's been watching me from the beginning, you guys all know I did not want to talk about it. How many times have you guys heard me say, I don't want to talk about this. It's all the same every single day. It's the same story, same thing. I guarantee that people that have been watching for a long time, you've heard me say that maybe 5 million times, because it is the same thing over and over. Oh yeah, Democrats are evil. Oh yeah, MAGA terrorists. Oh yeah, it's all the same shit that everybody always repeats over and over and over. And nobody actually wants to get to the bottom and fix anything. For a while, I thought that was my responsibility. I thought that's why I was doing the live streaming, was to try to get people to be aware of what was actually happening in this country, in hopes that someday maybe I could influence people to run for office, or run for school boards, or run for this, or run for that. And we were successful in that. Several people did run for office. But I found that I wasn't enjoying it, right? And so, and I know the way that I covered, and I wasn't enjoying it for not just because it was politics and more of the same things, and that I covered. I found that I wasn't enjoying watching our country just fade. Just every single day, more and more shit. It just fades away, and we all seem to be living in this weird world where it becomes okay to pass judgment on fellow Americans based on their political beliefs, whether you're on the right or left. And that's not something, because I'm an American before I'm a Republican. You know what I mean? I believe in this country and watching this country succeed. That's at least what I wanted to, or what I want. We started Citizen Stringer with hopes that media arm would be that catalyst to provide truth, right? The one miscalculation I had is because we had offers. I've had offers to go take my show and work with some of the bigger networks, the online streaming networks. I've had offers out the ass for those, lots of money. but I always declined them because, again, I wanted to do things the way I wanted to. And I didn't really want to make a career out of talking about politics, you know, and that's the truth. And so I started souring on the idea of covering the same thing over and over and over. Then with Citizen Stringer, uh, great idea, but we never had the turnout that we had to. Sure, we had a lot of members, a lot of free members, and a lot of the yearly, like, initial members that signed up, which was great. But the problem is we didn't have enough money to continue getting other content, bringing new people in, and things like that. So the hard decision was made to shut down Citizen Stringer. We just couldn't afford to keep it open. We had a good run, but we couldn't afford to keep it open. Um, and then I really started souring on more so even when we closed that down. I don't know when that was, last year. I really started getting pissed off more and more about covering these news stories and feeling like I had to parrot a particular talking point. Like, if there were things that I, as an individual, disagreed with, meaning that I didn't feel the same way as the party did, that, and I made the mistake, or at least what others view as mistake, of stating said opinion when I'm doing a live stream or something, people would get mad at me, and they would get mad and they'd send hate messages and they do all this stuff. And then I was like, why am I bothering to do this? Like, why am I bothering to talk about the news, talk about all this stuff when I'm being told that I need to parrot a particular talking point that I disagree with? The whole idea of being a conservative, and being an American for that matter, is that you're allowed to have differences of opinions. You're allowed to have different outlooks on what's going to happen with life. There is no right answer to anybody, or to anything politically, except when it has to do with kids. Then it's common sense. But everything else, there is no right answer, because what's right for me may not be right for you, obviously. I drive a van. I've got a wife and kids, but I drive a van cross country. It's right for me right now. Is it right for you? No, it's not. It may not be. Do you know what I mean? But just like this, everybody criticizes the decisions that people make in their life as if it's their decision. And I noticed that when I was covering the politics, everybody really started to do that. My political beliefs started to evolve a little bit. I realized that I didn't mind certain things that some conservatives were putting on a podium and saying this is the hill we're going to die on. And for me, I'm like, no, we have more things to deal with. We have more pressing issues that we have to deal with. And because I felt that way, or I felt a particular way about a particular subject, some of the supporters of the show, like financial supporters, some of the biggest ones, decided that they weren't going to contribute, and they made long emails to me saying that I've changed, and that, oh, I'm being mean, or my views are not what they align with, which is fine, but you're not being an American when you do that. You're being anti-American when you're saying that you're going to stop supporting a show, you're going to stop doing this, or you go out and directly criticize someone because their political beliefs are different than yours, and especially on such a granular level. I mean, we're not even talking about big things. So all of that made me really just sour on the idea. And for the past year or so, I've been talking to my wife. I've been talking to April. I've been talking to Adam about how much I truly hate talking about politics. In all reality, about the same stories that happen every day, the mass shootings that nobody pays attention to, the news stories that nobody cares. Do you know that we care about, like on the conservative side, but the left doesn't care about? I don't want to be an echo chamber for the right, because there's plenty of those. And I also don't want to. I don't want to hug this line of talking points that I disagree with in order to not lose viewers. That it's just never been an interest. So for a while, I've been trying to figure out different ways to segue away from just talking about politics nonstop 24/7, right? And it has nothing to do with money. Yes, money has a factor in virtually everything, but it doesn't play a part in whether or not I talk about politics. It doesn't. Does it have a part of whether I do live streams and talk? Yes, it absolutely does. But it doesn't have anything to do with politics. It doesn't have anything to do with anything else that I've done. So I made the decision several months ago. You guys may remember, where I'm just like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm taking a break. And I took like 6 weeks off, and I talked about, I took a break from talking about politics. I took a break from everything really, and I made a couple of videos over a 6 week process. But I just literally tried to disconnect. Wouldn't watch news. Wouldn't read news articles. Wouldn't do anything. And then I realized that I was happier. I was happier not, being uberly consumed or overly consumed or Uber, it doesn't matter, consumed with what's happening in this country, all the negative that's happening in the country. And I know it's easy to say we should look for the positive. There's not a lot positive that's happening in this country. Hell, they just arrested and put out mugshots of the former president of the United States for using his First Amendment protected rights. We are living in a third world country right now, which is, I mean, it is what it is. But I got tired of talking about it. Simply put, I got tired, and I didn't want to make a career out of doing it either. And I didn't want to go back to logistics. So now I'm just going to get personal with it, because a lot of people are critical of the fact that I'm now driving the truck or doing this and doing that. And I'll explain why. So for many people that do know, especially since the freight broker days, I've worked in logistics as an executive for 15 years, right? So before I started all the politics stuff, I was a director of operations, I was sales director, I was vice president of sales, I was fleet manager, I was CEO, I was director of agent development, with all these different big 3PLs. I've worked in logistics forever. I could have gone and gotten a regular 9 to 5 job making a fat 6-figure salary in logistics. I didn't want to. Okay. I just didn't want to. And so I needed to find something that I wanted to do. And so I started looking, and I remember from when I was a firefighter, I loved that job except the death that was related to it. Couldn't deal with the death. Um, Specifically death with kids. I just couldn't do it. And so I burned out of that job incredibly fast. And I don't know how other people can do it, because there's people that'll burn out after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I burned out after 2. Okay. But granted, I lost 18 adult patients and 1 juvenile patient in that 2 years. 18. That means I did CPR on I did CPR on 19 people, including a 3-year-old girl who died. Okay. So I just couldn't do it anymore. The last straw was a little girl. I just couldn't do it anymore. So I knew that I wanted to do something where I felt that same fulfilling, because it was one of the most fulfilling jobs that I've ever had, right? Where someone is sick and you make them better. It's cut and dry, and you see that the progress is evolving. It's kind of like construction. When you build a house, it's a very cool thing, because you start with nothing, you build something up, you see your project, you see your tangible item, and you see it's important because people will have their lives there forever. It's kind of like that, except I hate construction. So I wanted to find something where I had the same feeling I did when I was an EMT without the death portion of it. And I struggled to find it. I was thinking about running for office. I was thinking about on the national side, on the state side, because then you see projects getting done. But then my wife, rightfully so, was like, no, I don't want you doing it. Look at what they're doing in our country. I don't want you running for politics. And so I started thinking more about what I needed to do in order to find whatever it was that I was looking for. And I settled on, and one day it was towards the end of the school year last year, and my wife was talking about how our younger son, because he struggled in second grade, or no, first grade. So much so that they wanted to put him on IEPs and they wanted to do everything. But I had the sneaky suspicion that the teacher was a lazy slob, right? And just not good at her job. I had that suspicion. Guess what? My suspicion was correct. We moved him to another school district. He was in another school, and he excelled. He excelled because the teacher there didn't allow him to do all the shit he was doing in the first place. And so I realized, and I saw the growth that he had just as a young kid figuring out his way, and reading and math and doing all that, and going into third grade or second grade not being able to really read concise and understand it, to reading like full on by the end of the year. And I'm like, holy crap, like that's awesome. And then I started talking to my wife about it on the middle school level, seeing kids that come in and can't write a paper, can't even write, complete sentences. And at the end of the year, they're writing, long stories and using their imagination and all this stuff. And I realized that that is one of those jobs where you can get that sense of fulfilling. You know what I mean? As weird as it is, but that is one of those jobs where you can get it. So then I was like, okay, maybe that's what I should do. However, I don't have the patience to be a regular teacher. I know I do not. Okay. Like in one of my classes now, I had to choose one of 14 different qualities that teachers need in order to be successful that we are, not going to be good at, or that I'm not going to be good at. And I chose patience because I do not have patience. I'm someone that comes up with an idea and wants to put it in action right away. I don't sit and think things through, obviously. Sometimes I do, but other times I do not. And so that's going to be something I struggle with. But I wanted to find the best thing for me, essentially. And so I decided that health and physical education. I'm a power lifter. I'm a healthy guy. I like sports, love sports actually, or used to, especially watching and playing and all that. But I wanted to become a health and physical education teacher. That seems like the best course of action for me. So what I ended up doing was making the decision that I was going to go back to school for education, right? And I was going to get a job with a school district, driving a bus, because it also does like a bucket list to getting a Class B CDL, something I always wanted to do. And I was just going to drive the bus, do the politics shit a little bit, run the coffee business and do everything else. And it was going to be great, and go to school full time. That was the plan in April. Then I started thinking about stuff. I really hated talking about politics, and I didn't want to talk about politics anymore. And I needed to find a way to get out of talking about politics. But talking about politics did provide a portion of the income. And so I could not just drive the school bus and not do social media, because you don't make any money as a school bus driver. Total, it's like $1,000 a month. So there was no way for me to, provide doing that. So then I started looking after I got my CDL, and then I did the summer school and realized it was entirely too hot in those school buses, and I wasn't going to be able to do it. And so I couldn't. Someone said this guy right here will go right along with all the mandates. You're an idiot, dude. Like, that's such a stupid statement. For one, I didn't go along with the mandates in the first place, so why would I go along with any new mandates for some mythical fucking flu? Okay? Don't be dumb. Like, god damn, I hate people. And that's the problem too, is I actually literally hate people sometimes. Like Shunt Me Harder on Twitch is an idiot. Just a stupid piece of garbage. He is the type of person that literally causes people to not want to do, not streaming or all that stuff. Shunt Me Harder said they will be private companies. I don't care what a private company does. You're not American if you care what a private company does. You're not. I don't care if a company makes someone wear a mask. I don't care if a company requires you. As an EMT, I had to go get vaccinated, not the COVID vaccines, but I had to get the TB test. I had to go get the hepatitis, all that stuff. I had to do it in order to work the job. I could have not did it or tried to get some religious exemption, but I wasn't going to lie. I'm not super religious. So I had to make those concessions on whether I wanted to do it. My wife didn't want to get vaccinated with COVID. She made the decision to get vaccinated because she would get her sick time paid. It's a decision that people make in order to work in that job. I don't pass judgment on people who make those decisions, nor do I pass judgment on a company that wants to make whatever decision they want. I don't know why so many other people do. You advocate that you don't want to be told that you have to do something while telling someone else that they have to do something. It's fucking dumb. Like, use your head, you know? But anyway, like, COVID was one of the big definitive factors. I remember that lady in the bank, and I lost a lot of viewers for doing that. Remember, Bank of America refused to serve a lady inside because she refused to wear a mask. The mask mandates were done in the county, but she did not want to wear a mask inside the business. The cops came in and said, you have to wear a mask. It's our requirement. It's not a county requirement. It's our national bank chain requirement that you have to wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, go through the drive-through, same level of service, but you have to wear a mask. She refused to leave and said, I'm not leaving. You must serve me, blah, 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 because she didn't feel that the bank had the right to tell her to wear a mask. What about no shirt, no shoes, no service? Can a business tell you that you have to wear shoes in order to go in a business? Can they tell you have to wear a shirt to go in a business? Can they tell you have to wear a mask to go in a business? To me, my opinion, should they tell you that you have to wear a mask? No. But you have the option of going into that branch. You have the option of going into that business. For example, when we bought our house, I had to go get I had to do the escrow and drop off the check for $5,000 when we bought the house. So you know what I did? I went to the business. This was last year, right? Last year when we bought the house, they had mask mandates on the building. I called them, said, I'm not wearing a mask. Can you come out and pick up the check? They came out and picked up the check. I didn't have to wear a mask when I went in there because I stood up and said, I don't want to do it. And they still wanted the business. They don't get paid if they don't, do the escrow payment. So they came out and it was a seamless process and they weren't mad and I wasn't mad. In fact, on the door, it said, the building has a requirement to wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask or don't have a mask, call us and we will come out. That's what it said. So, I don't pass judgment on businesses for wanting to make mandates, even if it's fucked, but I do believe businesses should be held accountable if you are being told that. But see, not for the mandates. I don't know. It's just stupid. The whole thing is stupid. Anyway, so like I was saying before, the Twitch people got stupid. Not all of them. The person, the me harder on Twitch. It's just a goober. He's probably the type of person. I won't even go there. But so, long story short, I got tired of talking about politics. I got tired of talking about the same thing because I felt like I was echoing the talking points of the people on the right without wholeheartedly agreeing with them, and feeling that every time I tried to talk about something that didn't exactly hug that line, people got pissed at me. So I got frustrated with it and decided I didn't want to, have a second job or primary business just being about talking about YouTube videos and doing that shit. So I tried to find a different solution. I had the Class B CDL. I couldn't find a driving job in my area that paid more than $700 a week. Just could not find one. And I needed to make more than $700 a week to offset, or what's worse is if I was still to do the bus driving thing, I couldn't find any job that would hire me during the day. Because you drive the bus in the morning and you drive in the afternoon, you have 4-hour window in between. I couldn't find any place that would hire to do it besides like GNC working for like $12 an hour. And I wasn't doing that. So I needed to figure out something to do. Always wanted to drive a truck. Pitched my wife the idea for the 9,000th time in our relationship for me to go over the road as a truck driver. She agreed. Okay, because I had a concrete plan. My plan was to be over the road for 2 years, save all the money because I'm not spending money, save all the money, pay off the cars, pay off everything, and save a substantial down payment so we can then go and buy a bigger house in 2 years, right? Because right now we can't even get a house. We can't even get a house that's bigger than ours because the mortgage payment is astronomical because the interest rates are so high. So that was our plan, purely a financial plan. Is for us to save as much money as we possibly can over the next 2 years, pay off all of it, pay off her $70,000 in student loans, pay off everything we possibly can, and then by then I'll be done with school, and so then I will become a teacher. She's already a teacher, and then it will be good, right? And I applied for a bunch of driving, Class A driving jobs, got hired went through the hiring process for 3 companies, got the actual offer by another company, and then found the job driving the truck for this company. Drove the truck for this company for 3 weeks, only did 5 loads, got super tired, had to avoid every single way station because the truck wasn't up to par and I would have got put out of service. Made the decision to switch into a Sprinter van, and I've been busy ever since, and I don't regret the decision. I've been in this van for a week. I've done just as many loads as I did in the 16 days in the truck, although I am sitting right now. So this is the longest I've sat in this van since I've got it, because I've been sitting. Yesterday I sat from 1 until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then today I've been here now, 12 and a half hours. But this is the longest I've sat in a van the whole time. So hopefully people understand a different perspective. I'm not, because a lot of people are like, oh, you gave up everything you had. No, I didn't. In all reality, what I did for the coffee side, I put everything on hold. Right? The coffee shop was an incredible failure. Opening the coffee shop, that was a miscalculation on my part through and through. We spent a lot of money, building up that coffee shop, opening the coffee shop, and then to have no joke 25 people a month come in there for free coffee, it just didn't work. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't keep it open anymore. I couldn't keep it stocked because I was selling the coffee that we had in stock out. And then on the off chance that someone came in to buy a cup of coffee or buy a bag of coffee, we didn't have it. So I needed to figure out a different solution. Our online coffee side was going great until our website got doxxed or hacked or whatever. And then it charged people and it didn't charge people. And I couldn't find out who it was. So I just started refunding a bunch of people. And I ended up refunding about 7 or 8 grand and then realized that only about $2,000 needed to be refunded. So I emailed all these long-standing customers and said, "Hey, I fucked up and refunded you money." And all these good conservatives, only two of them actually refunded the money. Two of them, two out of like we're talking like $5,000. So, and I don't know what it was. The website provider wouldn't provide any help. They just said it was a hack or something. But the thing is, they didn't steal. They didn't take the money. It was like a glitch or a plugin issue with one of our reoccurring subscriptions, and it charged everybody early. And then when I went to refund, I didn't know what I was doing because I was panicking because people were pissed that they were being charged. So I pressed a button. I refunded everyone's, payment from the beginning. And nobody actually, and then I even made a video about it and I said, listen, I fucked up, guys. I refunded people. I need the money. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to sustain. Only two people came forward and said, oh, I got a refund. Here you go. So, and I mean, it is what it is, but I'm the one that fucked up you know so so I tried to rethink a way to do the coffee side because we couldn't take that loss on top of the store loss and all that. So then we came up with a coffee can idea. I thought it was brilliant. It didn't cost that much money to start. In fact, it doesn't. It's very sustainable, and it costs about the same as bagging the coffee, except it just didn't really take off as much as I thought it was going to. And so then when I had all that going on, then I was like, oh fuck, now what do I do? Because I have all this stuff. I had a shit ton of inventory, and I couldn't figure out what else I was going to do in order to make it so I could prove to my wife that I had sustainable income, so I didn't need to go anywhere else. And I made the decision to take the coffee company completely online, so there's no, bagging coffee or anything. It's all outsourced now, which is okay. But I'm super hesitant to accept credit cards now because it cost me 5 grand, by refunding everyone's money on accident. So I don't have credit cards turned on, but that's also a deterrent for people because then people are going to the website, creating the checkout, and then seeing they have to pay with PayPal, and then they get pissed and they don't order. So I think we've had like 3 orders in the past week, which is horrible compared to what we normally do. So I've been trying to figure all that out, but at the same time, being on the road, doing school, and doing all that stuff, I don't regret the decision to quit talking about politics as a full time job. I know a lot of people are being critical of it, or what's interesting is you look down on the fact that I'm driving. You look down on the fact that I'm driving a truck or was driving a truck. Now I'm driving a Sprinter van as if it's some sort of bad job. This is a great job. And it's one of the most important jobs that anybody could possibly have. You know why? It's the backbone of America. If you're shitting on someone for driving a truck, you are a fucking anti-American as shit. You know what I mean? It's a great job. I make more money doing this than I can get paid locally for anything. So it makes more sense for me to do this. If I can get paid, $1,700 in a week hauling freight, happy about it, then I don't understand why so many other people are concerned with that. You know what I mean? I really don't. I don't understand why so many people, and you'll see it. Like, there was a comment on Facebook earlier today on one of the things. It's like, you're driving a van, and then someone else is, or like, they said, what happened to cause you to get into freight? And I'm like, why is it that people think when you're driving a truck that there has to be a what happened, like, like this is bottom that put you in the truck? It's not. This is a good job and it's a good career. It's got benefits. It's got everything. So I don't understand why so many people are critical of it. And that, I don't know. That's what kind of just irritates me. But I hate politics. I hate talking about it. I don't, and I have to. I have to talk about politics because I don't feel. I feel like if I battle it all in, I lose my mind. But that's why Adam, myself, and Scott are probably going to have a new podcast pretty soon. Uh, that's just going to be called Calls with Friends because Adam and I talk maybe several hours a day, if not, over 10 hours a week where we're just talking about all the politics, talking about random shit. And I always am like, dude, we just need to record this call and put it out. And so we may actually be doing that because it is such a great idea. But and then bring Scott in and all that. My hair is very long and I have complex, so I don't like showing my hair. But yeah, that's what that's the main reason why I wanted to make the video. I think a lot of people are super concerned with what I'm doing in terms of like being negative, like it's some sort of negative thing. I want to be a teacher because for me, not necessarily for anybody else, for me, to better my decision. I'm driving a truck for my family. I'm not doing it for me at this point, because I would already be back home if it was for me. I'll be honest with you, because sometimes it sucks. The waiting is miserable. I can't deal with it. I did all my homework for the next 2 weeks already. Between yesterday and today, all my homework for the next 2 weeks for the college classes are done. Because I'm just like, what do I do? I'm bored, and I can't get Paramount Plus to work on my computer. So someone said, go be positive in your business, all ignorant obey. Sean Miharda, you really seem just like an idiot. I'll be honest with you. So I'm just, you've been watching a long time too, but I think you're a little bit of a liberal. You just seem like a negative Nancy. So I got rid of you. So don't have to worry about that. Carol sent a cash app for $30. Thank you so much. That's more, almost double what I paid for my shower this morning. I had to pay $16 for a shower because I'm parked at a Love's and not a Pilot. But I had to shower. I was getting stanky. I try to shower every other day, but that's a hard part. Or if I sweat, then I'll go and shower. Or if I go to the gym or something like that. But yeah, I appreciate everyone who does the cash apps and all that stuff. It is discouraging sometimes when I do a show and I don't do the cash apps and that kind of stuff. I understand, but I also understand. I also have the firm understanding of where we are as a country, where we're just not in a good place. I mean, think about it. Fuel here is $3.49 per gallon. You go in to buy a 20-ounce soda. A 20-ounce soda is like $2.49 now. Do you remember when the 20-ounce sodas were 99 cents? That's what they were when I was a kid. 99 cents. You could get a Sprite for 99 cents. Or it came out with the 5-cent deposit thing. It came out to $1.05. It's just insane. And it just, everything is getting so high. And they talk about how Joe Biden brought down inflation to 3.4 or 3.5 or 6 or whatever. But that's year over year. So nobody actually understands that's compounded interest over what it was last year. So if our interest rate was 8% last year and that now it's 3%, sure, it's down from where it was last year or from, the monthly rate, but that's compounded from a year ago. So that means we are sitting at a 12% increase in what we pay for goods. That's why on average you're spending over $700 more a month than you were 2 years ago on groceries every time in a grocery store. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard, and it's hard for people to be able to be like, oh yeah, sure, Steve, I'll send you a $20 cash app, a $20 Venmo, because we just live in a time where it's rough for people. But if it's not rough for you and you want to send a $20 cash app or Venmo, click on that link. You'll see the links there, and I'll accept it. But it's hard for people, and I understand that as well. I noticed that beginning last year, the coffee orders and T-shirt orders and stuff really, started going down like crazy, especially the T-shirt. Like, I understand the Patriot boxes and all that because, to be honest, I took on too much. It was hard for me to keep up with the Patriot boxes. I'm still trying to keep up with the Patriot boxes. People have been waiting for the Patriot boxes forever, the yearly subscriptions. We don't even sell them now, but just the yearly subscriptions, or like in like, I don't know what to do with another one. Another person just asked for a refund, except I show the Patriot boxes delivering both to his house with the tracking. He's like, I never got them, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. And he's like, I want a refund, and I'm like, I don't have the money to refund you because I see they're already delivered. So I don't know. It's just weird, but it's crazy how expensive shit is. Like, even the price I pay for coffee has gone up dramatically. The price I pay for everything has gone up. The price for vehicles has gone up. The price for clothing has gone up. The price for everything has gone up. And it's not going to stop. You know what I mean? In my opinion. the price that we pay for everything is not going to just stop increasing all of a sudden. But again, I want to thank Carol for the $30. And essentially, I'm like $50 short from a full tank of gas today too, because that's what I'm gonna do. In all honesty, about 2 o'clock today, if I get. Otherwise, I already have it because I got paid from doing this. Uh, but then I got to go pay for the store and shit like that because they're not letting me out of the lease either. You know what I mean? That's the worst part. I have the store for 2 more years, or not even 2 more years. Yeah, September. It's 2 years. And I can't get it. They won't let me out of the lease. I can't find anybody that wants to rent it because our economy is shit. So now I have to keep paying for the store, even though I can't use it because I don't have any. You know, I thought about opening like a flea market or something, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Someone said credit card has topped over 1 trillion first time ever. Yeah, I ended up closing all my credit cards yesterday and the day before. I closed all of them but one. Because they're evil. Like credit cards are evil. I'd find myself, especially when I had to buy fuel and do all that stuff, and I was waiting to get paid. I got really frustrated, and I would have to use a credit card because we didn't have. I made the mistake of buying fuel from our personal account, thinking that the previous truck owner was going to reimburse me right away, and he didn't. And so it set it off. So we didn't have it in there, and I had to go and buy stuff at stores, and I had to use credit cards, and I got pissed at myself, and so I closed all. I had 4 credit cards, 2 with Capital One, 2 with Credit One Bank. Closed all of them. Just said no, I'm not doing credit cards anymore. And I told my wife first and talked to her about it, but I said I'm just not doing them. They're bad. I don't want to do anything with my one of my brothers is he doesn't do anything with credit really. He's got a little bit on his home mortgage, but he put a shit ton of money down, and his cars are paid for, his toy motorcycles are paid for, everything is paid for, and he has money. And it's just he's way more fiscally conscious than I think any one of us are, and he just does a good job. He's got land, he's got a big house, he's doing well, and he doesn't believe his credit's really good because, yeah, I don't know why. His credit's good because he doesn't use a lot of credit, you know. But Medicine Tribe said we bought land. UPS mailbox row is 3 miles away. UPS drops anywhere. FedEx dropped in the center of gravel road about a mile away. Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. They only have to go. They used to do that with our house too. They would when we lived in Woodstock. They would never come all the way up the hill. They would never. They would just drop it on the bottom. But someone said your store doesn't have any foot traffic. No, it doesn't. The town is dead. Woodstock, Virginia, does not have a booming town. I had someone ask if they could open a restaurant in there, and I'm like, yeah, but you would, because I do have signs on it, and I am working with a realtor trying to find a new tenant for it, but we just can't find it. Someone said just have to have the bills on time, good credit. Yeah, I just didn't want to use the credit, so that's why I canceled all the credit cards. I mean, they weren't even maxed out or anything like that. I just said I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to have credit cards, so we made the decision to close them down. Man, look how long my hair is. Oh my gosh. I don't want to wear a hat because it's getting toasty in here, but because I think when the lights are on, it actually gets pretty warm. Where is dispatch calling me? Everybody else is calling me, but no dispatch. But that's all I want. I just want some freight to go. I would like to go back by home, but I would also take a load to California or Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, anything far. Someone said it's just paper. We can make more. I know this doesn't help, but true. Yeah. It's just we live in a weird time, boys and girls. We live in a weird time, and hopefully we get better. But I wanted to make a video kind of fully explaining, and I think I already have explained why I'm out driving, doing this. It's because one, it provides me a lot of time to get homework done. It takes me away from the spending money, right? And coming up with other business ideas in order to try to keep other businesses afloat. I mean, that's what we did. Citizen Stringer. If we never had Citizen Stringer, Pure Truth Coffee would be as big as Black Rifle now, but we were investing all of the profits and all of that to keep the news business aside to the tune of about $30,000 a month. That's about how much it was costing us to keep Citizen Stringer open. With all the technology, with all the live streaming, with all the, pay for talent and all that stuff, it was expensive as shit. And it was a miscalculation. It was a miscalculation. And we could have sold out and went corporate advertising and all that. We didn't want it. We wanted to stay independent. We wanted to stay free, But I don't know. You live and learn. Like I have no aspirations besides maybe doing like logistics consulting or something, and continuing with the coffee companies. I don't have any inspiration or aspiration to start another company or do anything else. Right now, what I want to do is just live. I just want to drive. I want to see. I want to be with my family. I want to watch my son's football games. I want to finish school, find a good job teaching, and just be happy. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. I feel like in my 39 years, I've earned it. So I do take it to heart when people criticize the decisions that I make, but I also understand it's a level of frustration because someone that you trusted to bring the truth and do all that has the truth is what corrupted him. And when I say corrupted it, meaning I don't want to talk about that shit anymore. It made it so I don't want to do it anymore. By talking about all this stuff and talking about the negative aspects of this and that, I can't do it anymore. So I made the decision to tone back. I can't not talk about it because I am a political person. But I'm not doing the daily news shows and stuff. If I ever got settled to the point, I would like, but ideally when I jumped in the vehicle, the plan was to make one video about trucking, to make one like video vlog, and to do one rant about politics every single day. But again, people that don't do this, they don't know how hard it is to actually do all that and have time to edit and do all that. So I just didn't have time to edit. So that's the explanation for why I'm doing this. I love doing this, and I wouldn't change anything. I do miss my family. Ironically, the only time I actually miss them like a lot, where it becomes consuming and where I'm like I don't want to do this anymore, is at periods like this where I'm just sitting waiting. That's when it really bothers me. Other than that, it doesn't really bother me as much. Because I talk to them, all the time. But when I'm just sitting waiting, I'm like, I could be sitting waiting at home. I could be doing, I could, is what I always think. And yeah, but I don't know. But I appreciate all you guys for watching. If you do want to support the channel, you could do so via the link in the chat. You can go to Pure Truth Coffee and buy some coffee. You could do a Cash App, a Venmo, a PayPal. Hell, I even have Zelle. Right? Do I have Zelle? Yeah, I do. Yeah, but the email's different. That's my personal email. Never mind. But yeah, if you want to support the stream, you could do so via the link in the chat or just scan that QR code that's over there and do it. It's an easy way for you to support the channel if you want. And what's the general feeling out there among other truckers? Things good or bad? Most people think it's bad. When school is out, you have the option to take one of your kids with you. Yeah, but I can't because I took out the seat and put a fridge in there. So yeah, kids aren't riding with me. I could have, though, just one, and you got to be 14 years old. But yeah, when I get home, I'm gonna try to with the fridge. I'm gonna try to with the base. I gotta put 2x4s there, so it's because it's not level. I just have it sitting on a box underneath and then ratchet strap to it. So I'm gonna use some 2x4s and plywood and build it so it's level, and then try with the microwave on top too. And then I'm gonna build some sort of mount for this. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. I may do it like from bungee and with my television and use the TV mounts and have permanent bungees attached to it so I can just mount it to the TV and it'll kind of hang there and I'll just take it down when I'm driving. Because, like I said, I can't watch Paramount on my computer. It just doesn't work. And I don't know why. And I like that show. The Lioness is a good. I like that channel. Lioness is good. Mayor of Kingstown, good one. 1883, all those are just good. So I miss watching that. Billions, I like that show too. A lot of Showtime shows. But someone said the less you spend at truck stops, the faster you save money for sure. Snacks and drinks are expensive. I don't. The only thing I buy at truck stops now, because I fried my coffee maker, is coffee. I don't buy anything else. Everything else is the fridge, and I have a toaster oven. So I have a toaster oven that's behind. You can't mount it because it gets too damn hot. I could use like the Velcro things. I just don't want to. But so that's why I'm going to do the microwave. But right now I cook everything with a toaster oven. So I've been having breakfast. I haven't had any of that shit yet. But normally I have yogurt, Cheerios, and English muffins for breakfast every morning. And then I typically have lunch. I'll have chicken patty sandwiches or hot dogs with cheese. Dinner I have whatever I have. And then, but yeah, I don't buy stuff at the store. Once a week, I will buy like Hardee's. Like if I come across a Hardee's, I like Hardee's, but I'll come across one of those and I'll buy their super single burger, whatever it is, the number 2 meal, because that burger is very good. Their fries are hit or miss. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're ass, but it's very good. You know who also has a good? I didn't know Arby's makes, or is it Arby's? Yeah, Arby's. I didn't know Arby's makes burgers now. They have a burger, and it was pretty damn good too. I was surprised, but yeah, I try. I don't eat that much, but yeah, that was the my little update, and hopefully people can deal with it. Again, if you want to support the stream, you can do so there. If you also, here's another one too. With code Citizen20, if you go to justcbdstore.com, you can get 20% off your CBD stuff. If you're stressed out, if you're tired, if you have joint pain, if you can't sleep but you're really tired, go over to justcbdstore.com. Pick up a CBD package. Use code Citizen20. I get 20% commissions for it. You get 20% off. It's a great deal for me, great deal for you. I personally would not. I used to take it all the time. This particular product, that's why I rep it, because you guys know we don't rep products that we don't um, use. I used to take it all the time, but now that I'm a drug tested driver, or actually, I don't know if I am now, but when I was driving the Class B truck, I was drug tested, and so I stopped taking it because I didn't want to pop on any test. And there is a chance that you could do it if you are a commercial driver, cop, firefighter, anybody that gets drug tested as course of their job. I would be hesitant on doing it. They will go to bat for you if you do piss hot, but because it says it's point it they in order to be CBD it has to be 0.03 or less, something like that. Uh, Angela, is it Angelia or Angela? Oh. You sent $10 via Cash App. Thank you so much. But yeah, you can go to justcbdstore.com. Use code Citizen20. You get 20% off your order. Hell of a deal. Great company. Thank you again for the Cash App, Angelia. But someone said, "Oh my God, Hardee's burgers are huge." Yeah, they're good too. How long does it stay in the system? About 30 days. But it's very good, and they're the best company I've ever had for the CBD. But again, if you want to support the stream, you can do so via the link right there in your chat, or scan that code that's on the thing. You can do Cash App, you could do Venmo, you could do PayPal. It also has the links to my other channels, the other um, everything, and yeah, I appreciate everyone for hanging out. I mean, this was a good one. I would love to be able to and between Angela and our who's the first one? God, Carol, right? Between Angela and Carol, they essentially. You said get at Hardee's Burger. Do you know how much a Hardee's Burger is? $10 doesn't cover it. But thank you. Is there a Hardee's here? No, this one's a McDonald's here, and I'm not doing McDonald's. But thank you. She's like, here's $10. Are you kidding me? You know Biden inflation did to the price of a Hardee's Burger? That combo now is $13 after tax. It's fucking insane. You know what Hardee's is really good too? Their chicken tenders are really good. But that was funny. But yeah. But I appreciate all of you guys for contributing because like I was saying, so like Valerie, you just sent a Cash App too for $20. Thank you so much. Like the, when I it sounds fucking bad. I don't know how to say it nicely, but when I get like that, it makes me want to do the shows because then it's I'm making money doing it, and so I appreciate it. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say it a different way, but I'll be honest. I'll probably use this money to go home today. So like if I think we're about what, so 60, so $30 off, and then I don't have to use my fuel card. You know what I mean? So then I use the fuel card for when we're doing it. That I'll just use this money to fill up the tank so I can just drive home. Which would be nice. So if you do want to do that, someone said, fun fact, it came from California. What did? Is Carl's Jr. Hardee's? I don't know what you're saying. Just go live more when you're driving. Yeah, it doesn't work though. Anytime I've tried to, it doesn't work. I like doing it too. I like doing the live stream when I'm driving. It's laggy and it doesn't work. I may try with the Lyrics broadcaster and see if that helps out a little bit and see how that helps just straight to YouTube. So make sure you follow me on YouTube as well. But yeah, if you want to support the stream, you could do so via the link in the chat. I may go live earlier. I'll put out like a YouTube Shorts or something. Also, if you want to buy a shirt that's to commemorate this day today, where if it ain't turning, I ain't earning, because I'm paid on the mile. So when I'm sitting here, I'm not making shit. So unless when I'm doing the YouTube videos and all that, and then I kind of am. Angela, I think she did the other $10, so I appreciate it. Now I can get Hardee's, but I wonder what your comment is if it says it. What's it say? Oh, maybe it didn't do it. Maybe I just read it twice. Oh no, it didn't. Why did it say it came twice? Oh, it did. Oh, you said go see your kids. Yeah, I may. Oh, so I had the number wrong. Why did I? I don't know. But yeah, you can also buy this shirt if it ain't turning, it ain't earning, or just support the stream. And like I said, I'm gonna wait till about 2 o'clock, and then if I don't hear anything by about 2 o'clock, I'm gonna drive home. So I'll tell dispatch to just keep me in service, and I'll be on call. Because the problem is, the whole first week of September, I am gonna be home. I want to see one of my son's football games. It's his birthday. We're actually gonna soup up the office and make the office a cool room, and then the kids are gonna be in there. That'll be like their video game room. So my older boy wants to start live streaming his video games, and we're okay with that. And I'm not going into. I know there's a bunch of parents that will shield their kids from everything. I raise my kids right. I have confidence that they can be mature about it. So someone said, you're an owner-operator, fuel cost blows right now. I'm an owner-operator now as well, technically, even though I don't own the truck. How does that work? I don't know. I pay the fuel. So I get a percentage that's higher than so I get about 60% of the load, of which I pay fuel. Fuel comes out to be about 20%. So I make about 40%, which is the same. Do you know what I mean? So it works about the same as the truck, except I pay the gas, so I can use like Upside and stuff like that and get rebates, which is what I do. Like you guys should all use Upside. So far, I mean, it's good when I'm running. When I'm sitting, I don't make shit, and I wish I made money, but yeah, when I'm sitting, I don't make anything. Except today. Today I made $60. I think it was via Cash App. Thanks to you guys. So $70 via Cash App. So far, almost a tank of gas. So I may be going home. Actually, I'm going home anyway because I already had the money. So what I do is the money when we book a load, after the load is picked up, they ask us if we want 30% on the fuel card. I say yes. I get 30%. That's direct deposited every week. But that 30% on the fuel card, I try to just use for fuel or showers or anything that is attributed to transportation. Try not to buy food or anything with it. Occasionally, once a week, I will. But so I try to leave it. So even though my load is done, I have a roughly like $105 surplus of funds on that fuel card. So, which I can use. Granted, I've been idling since yesterday, so I've pretty much burned through a half a tank of gas since yesterday morning and driving here and all that stuff. It's but it's good. But someone said something about parents. Nick said you're about $3,000 a week in fuel. Yeah, I'm not. I'm about. Oh gosh, I don't know. Say I fill up twice a day. That's $140 a day times 6 days. Well, let's say times 5 days because there's going to be sitting time and all that stuff. So you're talking 500, $900 maybe a week in fuel. You say you're $3,000 a week in fuel. Yeah, I'm about. But that's not. Nick said you should buy a truck and run under my authority. I'll be honest. I don't think I would buy it. I think the only thing I would do is buy a van. Because I really like this. To be honest, it's better than driving the truck for sure. Because I have no hours of service. I can just drive as far and wide as I want. So I like this. I do think maybe once I get in a better financial situation and pay off all the credit cards and the cars and all that stuff, I may end up buying a brand new Ford Transit van and running. Um, the company will lease me on. I could get one right now, or like I thought about trying to just get some like investor person to go and buy the van and just make 20% off the top, and you know what I mean. But but yeah, I can do that right with this company that specializes in this. So they're good at what they do, you know. But that's one of the things. But then again, a van is expensive. You're talking 45, 50 grand. I don't know how much this van is. Probably 50 grand, 55, something like that. And then, but it's good. I mean, it drives great. I love this. Especially when I'm under load because I just drive. You know, I haven't waited more than, I don't know, 45 minutes at a shipper or a receiver. Shippers, I'm in and out immediately. You know, uh, Deliveries are a little bit like if I have an appointment. I think the longest I waited was 45 minutes with expedited, and that was in the truck. Someone said, "Is your company hiring for vans? Like, if you have a van?" I think they are, but I don't put out who the company is here yet. So, but they want you to have experience too. You can't drive without having expedited experience because it is a different life. You know, People burn out from the sitting. Because I've been fortunate the past week where I haven't sat much, but normally people do burn out from the sitting because they don't like it. Like there was a guy that was down in Atlanta that delivered on Monday, and he didn't get a load until yesterday out of Atlanta. And that's where I was yesterday, and I was third in line. I said absolutely not. Drove up to South Carolina last night, and then like I said, I'm going to wait about 3 more hours, and if I don't get a load out of here, I'm just going home. I'm just going to stay in service, but I'll tell them I'm going up to the Winchester, Virginia area and just be home for the weekend. But yeah, someone said, "Is your company hiring for a van?" Why? One of you guys, if you want to buy a van, you can buy the van. I'll lease the van from you. We'll lease on. The money goes to you. It doesn't go to me because you're the van owner. And then I'll do 80%. I cover fuel. I cover everything else. You just get 20% to pay your van note and keep all the rest of the money. I don't care. But that's the problem too. Is the money well, I guess there's different ways to do it. So I get the fuel advance here. The money that the truck earns all goes to the fleet owner every week, and then the fleet owner pays me the other 30%. So there's different ways. One day I'd love to be a fleet owner because the guy that owns this, he's got 15, 20 vans, brand new vans out there. Like I went and got the oil change the other day. It didn't cost him a dime because he just spends all the oil changes and all that, so he gets all the Ford points for it. The vans are good. It's a good little business. It's a good little business. You know. Someone said, Nick said you may be able to accommodate a van. The average, so I'll tell you, the average amount that a van is generating per month is $11,000. Figure 20% for fuel, 40% for driver. That means each company owner, each fleet owner is making about $3,000, $4,000 per van. So per month. You know what I mean? So if I had, for example, if I owned this van or I had a better rate, it would be better. Someone said, I got 11 vans, best business I've ever gotten into, right up there with my Atma business. So you're doing the Sprinter stuff, Justin? Yeah, I think it's interesting. I really do. Yeah, I don't know how much a note would be on this, and I don't know whether it'd be beneficial to actually pay on, because the interest rates are so high. I think it'd be more beneficial to buy the van outright, use it, because if you got a good driver, like granted, you do put miles on. Like I've already put 3,000 miles on this van in less than a week, so the miles goes. But if you keep it to 300,000, you've already made your money on the van. You sell the van after you buy a new van. You know what I mean? because you're probably doing what, 300,000 miles. Yeah, if I did 3,000 in a week, you do a year, you're putting on 150,000 miles. There's different ways. Someone said, shit, I'd buy a van for someone else to drive while I sit at home. Well, go buy a van. Go buy a van. Because right now, I don't own this van. I have to give up 40% to the owner. That's why I was saying if someone else, because I thought about just renting a van, but then it wouldn't make sense because you pay a per mile charge too. I don't know how much a truck note would be on this. Justin said you bought them all at auctions. Are you running sprinters like expedited, Justin? Nick said message me and we'll chat about it. It's okay. Because I'm not really going to do that. Like, I'm just going to keep doing this for a while until I probably buy my own van. I'll be honest with you. Owner has to pay insurance too. Yeah, the insurance is like $500 a month per truck. So, because again, when you lease onto somebody else, if you're running under your own authority and all that, it's way more expensive. You run it all hot shot freight. Oh, gotcha. So, but are you leased on, or are you running under your own numbers, Justin? That's it. Are you leased on with somebody else, or are you running under your own numbers? Because I don't think I'd run under my own numbers. I think I'd lease on. Can you work for a company if you own your own van? Yes. All the fleet owners, well, everybody that works for this company that we're leased to, they're all fleet owners. They all work for somebody else. 15 a month with a spotless record a month. I don't know what that means. Oh, that's your insurance? Yeah. Yeah, because I asked him already, because I was thinking about the van thing myself. But, I was, yeah, it's expensive. I'm running under my own DOT. I just have the vans and 2 semis, then I rent trailers. Gotcha. Yeah, so are you on the Selectus board and all that stuff? Janine said, how do you find a company if you buy a van? Yeah, but do you have expedited or trucking experience? That's the thing, because you have to. Most of these companies won't put you on if you don't have expedited or trucking or trucking experience, because it is a different life. But send me an email, Janine, and I'll tell you who the company is. But I can guarantee they're not going to do it unless the van has to be one of these Ford Transits, the high 250 or 350s, the high, long, extended ones, all that stuff. But they want experience. Alternatively, you could just buy the van. I'll drive it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's other ways. Like I don't know, because I would like to make more money. You know what I mean? So if I do a load that's going 700 miles and I'm getting 60% of it, I'd rather do a load that's going 700 miles and I'm getting 80% of it or 100% of it. You know what I mean? It just make more sense. But anyway, guys, if you want to support the stream, I got to use the restroom, so I'm done. But if you want to support the stream, you can do so via the link right here. Maybe I'll go live later on in the afternoon, too. Listen, I want to give a big shout out to the best people, Carol, Angelina, Valerie, and then Angelina again. You are the best viewers of the day. I appreciate all of you guys for doing the Cash Apps and Venmos. You are making it so I can do these shows, and I appreciate you. And you're possibly helping me get home today. Yeah, I appreciate all you guys. And we will see you later. Watch, I can actually do this ending music too today. Fancy. It's not even ready to load.